Part 4. Brief review. Keep in mind that something that is defined cannot change that. V velocity equals distance over time. Space is distance, not changeable. Time is an interval by our centerline point of our Earth's mass. And he uses theoretical experiments, and so can I. He says, well, if he uses his irrational thinking and mathematical schema to represent, he says space is a void. Okay, we agree. Then on the next page, sometimes even the next paragraph, he says this void is warped. Now, just a minute, Einstein. Void is empty of anything, devoid of anything. It's a void. How can you warp this void? What is in this void of yours that you're warping? It's because he realized, you see, he wouldn't say what something was what it wasn't. There wasn't a ether. And in a gravitational field, it's only one out of all instances where it's directly vertical to centerline of the Earth's G field. I use that centerline. Do you understand? All the rest is going to be a curve. So he's saying that space is curved. Space doesn't change. It's the field that is curved. And if you take a bar magnet and you sprinkle iron filings, you will see the curves from positive to negative. You understand? The field, the magnetic field. He always would copy somebody else's thinking and then put it in a way where he represents it like he would do it, like it's his original thinking. In other words, say, well, if this is the way we do it, oh, well, yeah, that's smart, intelligent, but it's not his original work. And when he would not give DePretto credit, now I'm forced to say he's a plagiarist and must, not could or should, must be replaced. Number one of the 20th century. Come on, let's get realistic. Understand? So now, if we are centerline of this Earth, if you take, he says it's the field, that gravity, listen to this, gravity is but a singular instance of inertia. He has substituted his inertia, not the world's or science's. He says it's his inertia. You're going to get credit. His inertia is really this universe, and gravity is but a singular event in his inertia. No. Look, Einstein, if you take away the mass of the Earth, you don't even have a field. Isn't that correct? It isn't the field that is what this universe is. It's the mass. The mass creates the field, and if you take the mass away, there is no field. So you have to work with centerline, like I say, centerline of the Earth is a certain mass that has a field, and within this field, the Earth is moving, and whatever is coming into this, like a meteor, it will come in, maybe 1 out of 10 million will be vertical, somehow get vertical, the rest will all have a parabolic. So you do express it with a curve, but not that space is warped. It's your rational thinking that is warped. Void is a void. You can't warp a void. You can't take something and warp it and say it's this, that, or the other thing. Space is a distance, and you can't change that. So he lumps space and time together because if it takes a certain time to go a certain distance, and you're almost always, except that one time when it happens to be vertical, but there are syncom that orbit the Earth, satellites, isn't that correct? That are always vertically with the center line of the earth as they circle. What you do is express what you know as the most ultimate, the most highest velocity, but not, you can't decrease the ultimate, which is light. And you can get away with it because it's so fast on Earth, like Galileo said, for all practical purposes, it's instantaneous. So you are substituting an abstract alphanumeric symbol, C, as the fixed universe, as a fixed reference of frame. He would give an example, a theoretical example, and start with the answer and say the answer is this, and then go to the theoretical experiments would agree with his answer. Do you understand? Had to, because C is the ultimate velocity. You can't add C and V, he says. You can do it with sound, but not with light. Now, how does a train coming down the railroad track distinguish the difference between a wave of sound and a wave of light? Do you understand, Einstein? You cannot distinguish the difference. You can say because light is so instantaneously fast on Earth, it's like fixed, it will be the same in any direction. That's what you use, like the fixed frame. And so then it's the velocity, and the answer will be, as he says, but you cannot add. He violates Galileo's universal law of the addition of component velocities because it's light. Do you understand? So this is me. I say this is what the truth is, and I stand by it. And then Hoover realized I'm still batting 1,000. Einstein then agrees with me. And if I say, and I was going to say Lorenz's, but I thought out of politeness I say the Lorentz-Einstein transfer. He'd interrupt me then and say, no, it's Lorenz's transformation equation. He could tell maybe by the sound of my voice. And I forget, and I say, well, you know, in the Lorentz-Einstein transfer, you interrupt me and say, no, it's only Lorenz's transformation equation. Do you understand? Einstein took his name off of, some said it was even the Einstein transformation equation because of relativity. He's such a genius that somebody else's work is now his. Well, really, it's Lorenz's transformation equation. If not, you're going to add a name as Lorentz Poincare. And then you can say that Einstein, by using it, popularized it, but that's using alphanumeric symbolization in a field. Not that space is warped. Space is a void. And I belong to a science club, and they used to even cuss Einstein. They used to insist there has to be something in space. And they would go through various things. And I'd say, in my opinion, space, for all practical purposes, is a void. I agree with Einstein. I don't agree with his irrational thinking and his substituting a mathematical schema for reality. And that, obviously, he is a plagiarist. That I agree. But I would say, well, he represented. Up until about 6 months ago, I still defend him as an old friend because of E equals MC squared. Now I find out Professor Umberto Bartocci, that's printed in the Italian American Cultural Society, is really Olinto DePretto's work, and it's proven. Now, Einstein must be replaced as the number one of the 20th century. As I say, let's get realistic. In my lifetime, I've achieved, in my opinion, the highest step in science. Became disgusted and bored with all the hype, especially about Einstein. I forgot about Einstein in 1957, honestly. I didn't have the time or interest in whatever his irrational opinions were, because I was then doing Xerox, XEROX, independent variable mathematical physics, light application, electromagnetic radiation, 007. We had to go with, on 30 days. They wouldn't do it my way, you could do it Von Braun. I ain't working on any Nazi. Well, you're out. No, over and out. All right, I wish you luck. I don't believe in luck, I believe in ability. And I said, maybe the Russians will beat them. They had nothing and defeat the Nazis now. Even though that Nazi's supposed to be the number one, they got something, and they only beat them, they did it, in my opinion, my way. That's the fact. So then they came to me then with tears, almost tears in their eyes. All right, we double-crossed you. We murdered this, that, and the other thing. So on patriotic basis. Well, give me 30 days and let's see what I can do. On the 30th day, I was invited to the supervisor I was working with. I was surprised. He invited my wife and I to their home for elegant dinner. Yeah. Now he hasn't got me. There's nobody down there. Actually, I can now have dinner with the supervisor of the entire department. Well, we got to listen to this national broadcast. Step by step, I think I put 30 steps. Step by step. They said about 20, but in chronological order. Exactly what I put forward. Matched, finally obtained a successful rocket launch to orbit a satellite. Absolute truth. This on the voice stress analyzer, lie detector test, absolute truth. Do you understand who I really am? In every discipline, sometimes a half a dozen, whatever, in a day. Say this is what it is. And at the same time, on my own time, I'm doing advanced concepts in theoretical mathematical physics. And now I want to mention that nowhere in any possible way could they say Einstein put forward laser light. No way. It's my original work. He didn't mention a word of it, never was, until this hoopla about him being such a genius, and this, that, and the other thing. I'll give them to him. If you want to get something passed, they tell me in a science college, you add Einstein's name, and then you get it passed. So you get the funds. Lightification, simulated electromagnetic radiation is my original work. Absolutely. Now, I have done, well, if I insist that it's my way and not Einstein's irrational thinking, then what can I do? Well, I say that I have done what's considered to be impossible. And mathematicians really get excited and argumentative with me. I have combined the philosophy of the abstract discipline of mathematics with the philosophy of the real discipline of physics. I have combined the two philosophies into one that I call Mafics, M-A-P-H-I-C-S or M-A-F-I-C-S if it's in, say, European language. Mafics. That's impossible. A PhD in mathematics is almost stomping the floor. You can't. I says, well, in my opinion, in the discipline of theology, I'll say humble. But in mathematics, I now say, in my opinion, I have, and it's valid. And it's all part of what I have put forward. And I sent all of my work to Pope because I thought Hoover wouldn't let me live. And then it would be in the Vatican Academy of Science, at least. Now, what I am saying then is that you have all of these true facts. And that what is a reality is that I can put lectures. I've lectured at the American Physical Society, APS, and I put on the board the three eras of science. There's the GN era, Galileo-Newtonian era, the LE era, the Lorentz-Einstein transformation equations, setting them in their representative of motion, and the capital C. I would be humble and say capital C, not Castellano, that's my last name, begins with a capital C. Say the capital C transformation equation and put them side by side and go through explanations. Never one time have they said there's something there wrong. Or in any question that I didn't answer, I say, well, no, that is incorrect. Do you understand? Yet still nobody knows of me. They make sure I'm the unknown. I'm financially embarrassed. I must, by our Constitution, get honors and reasonable compensation. And that's where I'm at. Anybody participate? I say, of course, those are the true facts. Thank you.